Now one more concept called there are concept called Judo Columns. PSAUDO columns. What is this? So far we have created some tables and also we have inserted some columns, right? So what is this Judo columns? So Judo columns, there are two Judo columns. One is row num and second is row id. What is row num and row id? These two are called Judo columns in Oracle. Okay, row num and row id is called Judo columns in Oracle. So these columns are not there for SQL Server or any other databases. So these columns are only specific to the Oracle. So now what is the Judo columns? Row num and row id called as the Judo columns. So when I create a table, when I create any table, by default whatever columns we created, only those columns will appear. For example, here I have selected star from student. I have a table called student. So when I execute this, I will get the values, right? So only how many columns I have? S number, S name and marks. Only 3 columns I have, and these 3 columns I have created. But apart from these 2 columns, there are 2 other columns which are created by the Oracle. So whenever you create a table, by default there will be 2 columns automatically created internally. Those columns you cannot directly see when you use star. Okay, select star from student means you will get only 3 columns whichever you created. But there are some other 2 columns. Those columns automatically created by the Oracle. So what is use of those columns? Those columns are called hidden columns. Those are all hidden columns, also called as Judo columns. So row num and row id are the 2 columns which is created by the Oracle internally. Okay, so what is row num and what is row id? So how we can use? So first let us discuss with row num. Row num is a Judo column. So here when I write one query like this, see this, select star from EMP. I'll take EMP table. See this, I have EMP number, e-name, job, MCR, hire date, sal, commission and department number. So now I want to display only first 3 records. I want to display only first 3 records. I want to display only first 3 rows. How we can display? Select star from EMP where row num less than equal to 3. So usually after where class we specify the column names, right? But row num is not there any column name as any column name, but this is an internal column name which is defaultly created by the Oracle at runtime. That is very important. Row num is a runtime. Row num will be created at runtime of the table, not at a creation time. Okay, so row num is a column which is created when we query execution time. When we execute this query, automatically the row num column will be created. So what row num column contains? Row num column contains the numbers from 1 to n. So based upon number of rows. So for example, this table having 1 to 14 records. So row num column contains 1 to 14. Okay, those records we cannot see. See now, I want to filter the records. I want to display only first 3 records. How we can display? Based on the row num, I can display. See this, when I execute this query, you get only first 3 rows. So what does it mean? Row num is a column name. Row num is a column name which is automatically created when you execute the query at runtime. Got my point? Row num is a not versional column exactly, but while running the query, automatically row num will be created. That we cannot see, but we can use that column for validations like this. So this is an example. If I want to display first 3, I can give less than or equal to 3, row num less than or equal to 3. Similarly, if I want to display first 6 records, just give 6. Execute this, so it will give the 6 records. right? So this is a way I can filter the rows using Rownum. Now what I want to do is I want to display the rows between 3rd and 7th. See this, I want to display rows only between the 3rd and 7th. How many rows I will get? 1 2 3 4 5. I want to display rows between the 3rd and 7th, only this part, only these rows I want to display. I don't want to first rows and I don't want to last rows. So how we can do this? I want to display from 3rd to 7th. So what I want to do, see, simple logic. I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. I want 7 8 9 and also 10. I have numbers like this. I want to get only 3 4 5 6 and 7. Only these values I want to get out of it. So what is the logic I have to do? First I want to display values from 7. Okay, so 1 to 7 I will display first, and then I display 1 to 2, 1 to 2, and then what happens here? The 7 records, here the 2 records. So in 7 records, if I remove 1 2 records, so whatever the remaining are there, those become the 3 to 7 records, right? So ultimately what I have to do, first I want to display the less than or equal to 7 records. On those records I want to minus first 2 records. I want to display all the records 1 to 7, but in those records I have to minus first 2 records, then I will get 3 to 7 records. That is a simple logic. Now I will write like this: select star from emp, okay, where row num less than or equal to 7, this will give first 7 records. On 7 records I want to remove first 2 records, then I will get 3 to 7. So how to remove first 2 records? Don't put semicolon, minus is the keyword, minus first 2 records I want to minus. So write a query like this: select star from emp where row num less than or equal to 2. Simple. So this will give first 2 records and this will give first 7 records, and it will minus, and then you will get records from 3 to 7. So this is not, this don't consider this number actually 1 to 5. Okay, these are the records which are from 3 to 7. So if you want to check exactly, write one query like select star from emp and run both the queries at same time. Then you will get the 2 tabs. You can easily check it. See now. So the first query is the employee table, and second query is a only second to third one. What is the second record here? Third record. What is the third record here? Word is the third record. So start from the word. And what is the 7th record here? Clerk is the 7th record. So it is ended with the clerk. So now we got the records from the third record to the 7th record. So this is the logic inside. So we need to use minus operator. So this is the way Rownum column will be useful. You got my point? Understand why the Rownum is there? So we can filter the rows based on the Rownum. So Rownum start from the 1 to based upon the number of rows. Suppose table contains 10 rows, so Rownum will be start from the 1 to 10. So now we will see what is the Rownum. What is the properties of Rownum? So Rownum is a Judo column. Rownum, you can use small or capital, okay, no issues. Rownum is a pseudo column which starts with 1 and incremented by 1. So based upon the number of records in the table. Okay. So now Rownum values are temporary. See this. Rownum values are temporary. See now what happened here. When I see this, for example, row num values will be vary. For example, if you have 10 records in EM table, so first record will consider as a 1 and the last record 14 will consider as a 10. 14th record will consider as a row num as a 14. But if I insert 15th record will come into at last. So that become the 15th row num. But if I insert one more record in between any records, definitely row num will be changed. Right? So if I insert any record between any records, not the end and not the beginning, in between any records, then row num will be automatically changed. Right? So similarly, same simple logic. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records. So this row num is 1 and this row num is 2 and this row num is 3 and this one is 4 and this one is 5. Now if I insert some record here, 6th record is I inserted here. Now what will be the row num of this? This row num will be the 4, this row num will be the 5. Okay, again this row num will be the 6. So this is vary based upon the input. So this is not permanent, so that it is a temporary. So row num values are temporary. Row num values are temporary. And row num values generation start from 1 and incremented by 1. Okay, so this is a way of using row num. So basically, what is the row num? Row num is a Judo column used for filtering the columns. So these are all different examples of row num. And this will display first 3 rows and this will display first 6 rows and this one will display 3 to 7 rows. Okay, so this is one row num is a one Judo column, and one more is row ID. Row ID is different, row num is different. Row num is usually 1, 2, 3, 4 like this, only integer values. It is start from 1 and incremented by 1. But row ID is different. Row ID also, every row is having the row ID. When I create a table, one more important point is, while executing the query, the row num will be generated. Executing the query while runtime. But row ID is created when you create a table itself. And also this is permanent. That is the difference between row num and row ID. Row num will be created at runtime when you execute the query. Row ID is created when you create a table itself. Row ID is automatically created when you created a table itself. And row ID is a permanent. Row num is a temporary. If we insert some column or some row between the existing rows, row num will be vary. It is temporary. It is exist only at runtime. But row ID is a permanent, which is stored in the memory. So row ID tells exactly where the record is stored into the memory. Basically, this is a memory location. Okay, so every record in the table stores in the memory, somewhere in the memory, right? So row ID defines the memory location where the record is present or where the record is stored. Okay, so every row is having a unique row ID. So we cannot see the row ID like this. When you select the query or when you select the table, you cannot see the row ID. But still the row ID column is present, which is already created when you create a table itself. Okay, so that is row ID. So, and one more important thing is row ID is hexadecimal characters. We cannot understand what is the row ID. Row num is normal integer values, but row num is normal integer values, but row ID is different. Row ID is hexadecimal values. Okay, I'll tell you what is this. when you query like this, select row ID, select row ID from EMP. Just select row ID from EMP. You will get, see, row ID column you will get. So each row, 14 columns we have, 14 rows we have. For every row we have a row ID. Row ID, comma, just put star dot something wrong. This is star. Something wrong. Okay, row ID, EMP number, ename from EMP. See this, I am retrieving row ID with EMP number ename. So every row is having unique row ID. This we cannot understand. This is hexadecimal value. This row ID is hexadecimal value, which is stored in the memory actually. This says where the exact record is stored. So every table, every row is having a row ID. That is a system row ID. So that we cannot see. That is automatically created when you create a table. Okay. So we don't use row ID much. Okay, very rare, and administration tasks, and they will use row ID. Okay, we don't use row ID because we cannot even understand this code what is there. And if you want to filter the rows, then we go for the Rownum. Okay, this is not much useful, row ID. So, but these are all two different Judo columns are present on here in Oracle. So this is the way we can get the row ID. Sorry, and this one. Row ID. So row ID is Judo column. Row ID is Judo column, which contains hexadecimal values. Hexadecimal values. And second point, row ID indicates the address where the row is stored in the database. And one more is row ID values are permanent. Row ID values are permanent. Is the interview questions will get. Okay, permanent. So what is the difference between row ID and Rownum? So Rownum is a temporary and row ID is a permanent. That is one difference. And Rownum values while creating at the runtime, but row ID is created at the creation time. Okay, and Rownum will be the start from 1 to incremented by 1, so integer values, whereas row ID is created as a hexadecimal values. Okay, so that is a example, row ID and Rownum, very important. Clear? Now అర్థమవుతుందండి? Yes. Now we will see some more commands. TCL commands. So far whatever commands we have seen, all are DML commands. All select statement comes under the data retrieval. Update inserts comes under the data manipulation commands. Okay, so all select statement comes under the DRL, data retrieval language. So now we will discuss TCL, transaction control language. So under TCL we have three commands. One is commit, second is rollback, third one is save point. So these are the three commands. It's very much easy. Commit, rollback and save point. So these are commands comes under the TCL, transaction control language. So basically these commands are used with data manipulation commands. So these commands used with DML commands. What are the DML commands? Insert, update, delete. These three are called DML commands. And usually what is transaction? Insert is one transaction. Update, if I do the update, that is called as a transaction. If I do something, if I delete something, that is called transaction. So what is transaction? Whatever we do on table, that is called as a transaction. If I do some insert, that becomes one transaction. If I do some update, that becomes a transaction. If I do some delete, that becomes a transaction. So these TCL commands, transaction control language, clearly says transaction control language, clearly says transaction control language commands. So these commands will applicable for insert, update and delete commands. So these commands are very much useful with insert, update and delete commands. So what is commit, rollback and save point? So let me explain this very easy. Now what I'm doing here is, first let us go for commit and rollback, then I'll explain the save point. Very simple, it will take another 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so now what I want to do is I will create a table. I'll drop table STU. Okay, STU table is dropped. Now I'll create a table called STU. Create table STU. S number is number of 5, comma, S name is varchar 2 of 15. So simple 2 columns I have. So I'm running this. So now S name varchar 2. Okay, I haven't closed this bracket. Okay, now what happened? S number of 5. S name varchar 2 of 15. Unknown command. Okay, create. Okay, now table is created. So now what I want to do is just observe. I'll do some inserts. Okay, insert into STU values. First 101, comma, ABC. Some value I'll put like this. I will create some more inserts like this. I'll insert first 2. Okay, so now this is 101, this is 102, and this is 103, and this is 4 and 5. This is 4 and 5. Okay, see. When I execute 3 records, 1 minute, this is STU. Okay, so I'll insert first 3 records. Okay, whenever you insert records in a table, those records are temporary. So if you want to make them as a permanent, you have to use commit. Immediately after inserting or after deletion or after updating, if you do commit, that transaction will be permanent. If you don't commit after you doing insert or delete or update, after you don't do commit, those transactions will be temporary. When you disconnect from the database, automatically those transactions will be gone. So whatever inserts you have done, those inserts are temporary. When you do commit, then it will become permanent. Now committed. So now what I want to do is, after committing these 3 records, I will insert 2 more records. Just observe. I have committed only 3 records. Those records are permanently stored. After committing those 3 records, again I am running 2 records. Now I inserted 2 more records. Now see, select a star from STU. Now you will see 6 records. First 3 records are there and other 2 records also there. That is fine. But what I am saying, First three records are permanently stored, but other two records are temporarily stored. How I will know whether it is temporarily stored or permanently stored? Because again, select star from STU give the complete results, right? 5 results. But when I see rollback is a command which will delete all the temporary records, which will get back the original records. It will stay. When you do rollback, what will happen is it will place only temporary records. It will place only permanent records. Whatever the temporary records I have inserted, that will be gone. So when I see select star from STU, 5 records are there. But what I am saying is 3 records only the permanent records, other 2 records are temporary records. How will you know? When I do rollback, what happens? Rollback is completed. After that you run the select star from STU, you will have only 3 records. Why? Because rollback cannot remove the temporary permanent records which is there in the table. So I already committed 3 records. So those records still present, but other 2 records, what happened? I haven't committed 2 records. So when I do rollback, automatically these 2 records are gone. So that is the use of commit and rollback. So commit is used for make the records permanent in the table. And rollback command is used for get back the records whichever is temporarily stored. For example, when I do something, okay, committed, okay, that is fine. Now what I want to do here is even delete also temporary. Suppose delete from STU where S number equal to 103. See this, very important. What I am doing currently, how many values I have in the table? Select star from STU. I have only 3 records. In these 3 records, what I am doing? I am doing S number 103 is deleted. After deletion, just select star from STU. You will get only 2. But I want to again roll back the record. As I said, delete command, delete the record temporarily. Delete the record temporarily. If I want to get back that record, I can get back. How I can get back? Again, run the rollback. When I run the rollback, after rollback is completed, again select star from student, you will get back the record. So what is that rollback? That means you have done delete, but you haven't committed. That's what delete is not permanently is done. You got my point? So whatever is not done permanently, that we can get back using rollback command. So whatever in inserts, update, deletes you have performed, those operations are temporarily unless you do commit command. Once you done commit command, those records will be permanently stored in the database. So if you do temporarily, if I do any transaction temporarily or insert or delete or update, you can get back the transaction. So I have done some insert. By mistake, I have done some insert. But I want to get back that insert. I don't want to do insert. Then you can go for the rollback command. If you do rollback, whatever you have done transaction, that will be rollback. Similarly, I deleted one record from the table STU, right? So what I have done, I haven't committed, but I have used rollback. Immediately I get back the record. But when I use commit, you cannot get back the rollback. See this, very, very important. Now what I'm doing here is very simple. Select star from STU. Okay, run this command. There, 3 records are there. Now what I want to do is, I want to insert. First I'll explain with the insert. Okay, insert into STU. 103 is there. 104 I'm inserting some XY. Okay, I'm inserting this. Insertion. One minute. Insert into table values. Now I've inserted the record. One row is inserted. Transaction is done, but the transaction is not done permanently. Just remember that point. I have done transaction. I have inserted. If I select also, you will see the record, But this transaction, whatever I have inserted, that is not permanent transaction until unless you put commit command. If you do commit command, insert will be the permanent. You cannot roll back then. But now I am not using commit, so I can roll back. If I do roll back, what will happen? Whatever is insert I have done, that will be revoked back. So now again roll back. Okay, rollback is done. Now when you select star from employee to you, now you get only 3 records. What happened? 104. Because 104 transaction I have done it, but I haven't committed, so that it is a temporary records. I can again roll back. You understand my point? If I do transaction temporarily, you can roll back, but if your transaction done permanently, you cannot roll back. Now you see again, I have done insert. Okay, insert is done, and also select star from STU. Okay, 4 records are there. Now I am making it as a permanent using commit. I'm making insert as a permanent. Now it become the permanent. So when I see select star from STU, you will see 4 records. Now if I try to roll back, if I see rollback is complete, but still you can see 104 record. Why? Because 104 become 104 record. I make it as a permanent using commit. So once it's committed, then we cannot roll back the record. Until unless you haven't used commit command, you can roll back the record. This is using insert. Is it clear? Adamaindandi? Yes. Now, yes, exactly. Before commit, I can roll back. If I do some transaction by mistake, okay, what happened? You want to roll back that. Again, that you by mistake you realize that you by mistake I have done this transaction. I want to get back. So in this case, rollback will work. But if I done transaction permanently, in that case, rollback will not work. This is for insert. Yes.
For example, production deployment.
Yes.
They did scripts and
yes.
They have done all the in production.
Yes.
For example, they want to roll back it.
In production system scenario is different. In production systems, every transaction, if you do online any transaction, they won't apply commit for every transaction. So there will be one automatic option called auto commit option. Auto commit means when you do transaction, automatically it will be committed. So that option will be set while installing the software, while installing the database itself. Yes. So by installing software itself, it will ask either you need auto commit option enable or you need auto commit option disable. If you enable auto commit option, automatically insert update when you do, immediately that will be committed. In that case, rollback will not work. But auto commit is disable, and then you have to do the commit and rollback. Okay, that is auto commit option will be there. Right. So this is example of insert. Now we will see example with a delete operation. Okay, or update operation. Now I have select star from STU. See this, I have 4 records permanently now. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to update one record. How to update? Update STU set s name equal to MNO something where s number equal to 102. See this, I am updating the record now. Okay, as soon as I update record, one row is updated, but this is temporary update. This is temporary update. When I see the select star from STU, still you can see the record. See this 102 is become MNO. It is updated, but this is temporary. Why I am saying temporary? Temporary records I can roll back. By mistake I have done update. This is, assume that this is by mistake I have done. I want to roll back. Then just use rollback command. Rollback. So when I see rollback, automatically rollback is done. If I select star from STU, then you will get 102 as ABC. Rollback is done successfully. Because we haven't made this update as a permanent. That's what we are able to roll back the record. But again I am doing 102 update. I am again updating the record. Now it is updated. Now I am making as a commit. Okay, committed. Now select star from STU. Now my record is present temporary. My record is stored permanently. Now if I do rollback, I cannot. Rollback is complete, but still when you do select star from STU, still you have MNO record. You cannot roll back once you commit it. Got my point? So this is commit rollback with update statement. Now we will see even delete also same thing. Now select star from STU. This is my table having 4 records. Now I am deleting one record. Delete from STU where S number equal to 103. So 103 record I am deleting. 104th is there. Okay, 104 record I will delete. 104 record I will delete. See this now. I deleted. I have deleted by mistake. Okay, now I want to get back. So when you see select star from STU also, you cannot see 104, but I want to get back that record. So just use rollback. Rollback. So now it will get the record back. So once you execute rollback and execute star from STU, you will get the record because we haven't make this delete as a permanent, right? So now what I want to do is now again I'll delete this record. Deleted. Now I will apply commit. When I say commit, this transaction will be committed, so permanently stored in the database. After this, select star from STU. Now you will see 3 records. If you want to try rollback, you cannot roll back. After trying rollback, again ST star from STU, then you cannot roll back the record because you have done the delete as permanent. Okay, is it clear? So commit and rollback. So these commands are transaction commands. So basically these 2 commands control our transactions. So that's what is called as transaction control commands. Clear? Now one more command we have is a save point. Save point. This is also one more important command. See this. I'll give you some scenario. I'm dropping table. Drop table STU. Okay. Explain this go further. Okay, now I have a table and sum table. Okay, so in this sum table, I will do some transaction. T1 insert or delete or whatever. Okay, transaction 1, transaction 2, and transaction 3. I have done 3 transactions. After that, I'll put one save point called S1. Okay. After that, I do some more transaction T4 or T5. It can be transaction can be insert, update, or delete, whatever it may be. And then after T4, T5, I'll put one more save point called S2. Okay. After that, I'll do some more transaction called T6 and T7, transaction 7 and T8. And then finally, I'll put S3 save point. Okay, now how many save points I have? 1, 2, 3. Now, after putting 3 save points, okay, what I want to do is, I will use a rollback command. So rollback, if I do rollback, but all transactions are temporary. Just remember, all transactions temporary. I haven't make it as a permanent. Okay, first three transactions I have done, put as S1 is a save point. Other T4 and T5 have done, again one more S point. And T6, T7, T8, and again one more save point. So now I want to roll back. Till S1. Only these records. Suppose I want to roll back till S2. So I want to these records still there, but I want to roll back till S2. So if I say roll back S2 command, if I roll back S2, what happens? So this will roll back the records till save point S2. So this will be terminated. These records will be terminated and remaining records will be present. And if I say roll back S1, only till S1 will be there. All the records will be truncated, deleted. Only these transactions will be there. S1 is also like a commit. Save point is also like a commit. Okay. So when I say rollback S1, so after S1, whatever save points I have provided, those save points will be terminated. All the records also terminated. So that is use of save point. So each level we can put some save points. And when I say rollback, automatically at that particular level, it will go and whatever the after save point, whatever transactions we have done, those transactions will be completely gone. And if I don't specify any save point, just put rollback, automatically this rollback will be back of all transactions. It will completely take over these transactions because these are all temporary, right? These are all temporary. So when I say only save point S1, this will take up to S1 save point. It will roll back up to S1. Is it clear? Yes.
It's clear.
Yes. Now I'll show some example. Now I'll drop a table STU. Now I'll create same thing. I'll create now. Create table STU s number 5 comma s name var2 of 15. Now table STU member is name var create table STU s number 15. Okay, now table is created. Now I'll do something on the table. See this, insert into STU values 101 ABC. I'll do some inserts like this. Okay, so this is 101, 102 and 103. Okay, 3 insert statements. Now after inserting 3, I'll put save point S1. And again after 3 inserts, these are all temporary inserts, I'm not committing anything. Okay, and now this is 104 and 105. And now I'll put one more save point S3. Now I'll put one more insert 6. Okay, now I'll update 2 save points. First 3 records I put 1 save point S1, and second 2 records I put S3, and last record I haven't put any save point. Now you see here first execute first 3 statements, all are temporary. Okay, all are temporary. What happened? Right. So now first I'll execute first 3 statements, inserted, then save point S1. Save point S1 is done, and 2 records. This is save point S2. This is S2. So 2 save points, and after that one more record I inserted. Okay, now total how many records I have? Total is 6 records I have. Select star from STU. And so this I will have 6 records. Now all are temporary records, but I want to roll back only this transaction. 6 is there, but I want to roll back only this transaction, 106. So how we can do? Rollback S2. When I say S2, what will happen? Just observe. Rollback is completed, S2. Now select star from STU. What happened? No records. So what is the problem here is, it will remove till S2. Till S2 means above all the transactions. Just a moment. This is not committed. Okay, just a moment. Once again I'm doing. See this first 3 records I have. First 3 records I put save point S1. Next 2 records I put save point S2. Another record I put save point S3. Sorry, for this I have save point S3. Okay, 3 are there. Now if I do rollback, so now select star from STU, there is no records. There is no records. This is empty now. So now first what I would do, execute all the stuff. First 3 and then save point 1. Done. And first next 2 save point 2 and last 1 query, then save point 3. Okay. So now what I want to do is when I do select star from STU, you will get all 6 records. Now what I want to do is if I use rollback to S1, rollback to S1. So what this will do is just run the rollback to S1. Okay, S1 having after 3 records, S1 is created, right? So rollback to S1. Done. Now start from EMP. See this. When I see rollback to S1, first 3 records are rollbacked. First 3 records only rollbacked. Other records are gone, deleted. Other records are deleted, completely deleted. You got my point? So select star from STU. Once you put all the save points for all the records, when I say select star from STU, we'll see all the 6 records, but all 6 are temporary records. All 6 are temporary records. When I execute only rollback, what will happen? All records will be gone. But I don't want all records, all transactions will be gone. I want to still have some transactions and other transactions will be gone. In that case, this save point will be useful. So again, once again, I'll repeating. Let me let me delete all the records. Delete from STU. Okay, this is deleted all the stuff and commit. Even delete is also temporary. That's what I'm committing. Done. Okay. So now what I want to do is see this. First 3 transactions I have done. Put as point S1, and next I have done 2 transactions. Again I put S1, S2, and after that I did one more transaction, and I put S3. So I have done so many transactions, but every transaction I know what is the save point I put. Now what I want to do is, if I roll back, if I select star from STU, you see no records, but when I run all the records, see now when I select star from STU, you will see all the records. So currently all the records are there, but all are temporary. So now I have done all the transactions. I already done it, but by mistake I have realized, okay, by mistake I have done these transactions, but these transactions are valid. First 3 transactions are valid. I'm going to commit them, but other transactions whatever I have done, those are not valid. So in this case what I can do is, if I use only rollback command, this will roll back all the stuff. It will roll back all the transactions. So whatever transaction I have done, all the transaction will be invalid. But I'm not like that. So what I want to do is, I want to make first 3 transactions will be the valid transactions, and I'm going to commit those transactions, and then other transactions will be rollbacked. I want to roll back other transactions. Then what you can do is, then you have to use save point here, and the same save point you have to be rollback to S1. When I do this, what happens? First 3 records comes under the S1. So apart from these 3 records, other transactions will be rollbacked. So when I see rollback S2, so till here S2, so all others, these are all comes under the S2. So other than this, remaining transactions will be rollbacked. So what are they? Remaining transaction only 106 is the other transaction, right? So till S2. So when I see rollback to S2, after that select star from STU, what happens? You have still 101 to 105 records. You will lose 106 record, because you assume that this is only the invalid transaction, remaining or valid transaction. You want to still keep them alive, and you need to commit those records permanently. You got my point? So that is a use of save point. So rollback, when I use rollback will roll back all the records, all the transactions whatever you have done. But I have done 10 transactions out of 10 transactions, but I want to roll back only 5 transactions. How it is possible? It is possible only through save points. Otherwise, it is not possible. Right? You have done 10 deletes or inserts or updates, whatever you have done. After you have done, you want to roll back 5 different transactions. That is possible only through save point. But if I use directly rollback without save point, what will happen? This will roll back all 10 transactions. But whatever transaction you think it is valid, those transactions also gone. But some transactions are valid still. You are going to commit those transactions, but other transactions are invalid. In this case, you can go for save points. Go for save point S1. When I see S1, what will happen? Only whatever under S1, before S1 is created, whatever transactions are there, those transactions will be still alive. Other transactions will be gone. So this rollback to S1. When I see rollback to S1, rollback is completed, and then select star from you. Then you will see only 3 records because under S1 only 3 records are present. Other transactions will be gone. But now if I say rollback, it will roll back everything, all records, all save points. Rollback complete. Now when I see select star from STU, you cannot see any record. Whatever records we have done temporarily, those records will be rolled back. They have not committed into the database. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is called as commit, rollback, and save point. These are the basically transactional commands. So based upon the insert, update, delete. If I by mistake I have done some insert, but that is not went to directly database. I want to roll back that record. So then go for the rollback command. I have done 10 transactions parallelly, simultaneously, but all transactions are in 10 transactions, only 5 transactions are valid. Other 5 transactions are invalid. I want to roll back only those 5 transactions. Then you go for roll back to save point. Okay. So these are called transactional control commands. Transactional control commands. So I'll stop here.